book, and his book is in that our library. He wrote the book in the 90s called Afrocentric architecture. Because when I met him, that I went back to school, I made a design that was Afrocentric, and my teacher told me, sorry, what you're doing is not possible yet. Africans have not reached that level. I was like, okay, carry your architecture degree and going somewhere else. So he's inspirational, and it was their theoretical frameworks. He says natural synthesis, combine African with modern, and create something that is comfortable, affordable, and beautiful for the African. Bring the two together, natural synthesis. His theory says simply reflect Afrocentricity in your designs. So I combined them and came up with my own, and because I stand on their shoulders, I always respect them. I don't like to act like I do better than anything I didn't. These are my mentors. They are standing on the shoulders of very great people, tracing all the way back like to the pyramids 10,000 years ago. But African science and technology has existed and has been growing, and we need to cite our references because that validates our story. I wasn't, I'm standing on existing protocol, as we say in Nigeria. So these are my mentors, and Cpdi praise architecture. Oh, I didn't tell you that it's not just for Nigeria, it's for Africa, African Americans, Afro-Brazilians, Haitians, Jamaicans, anywhere where they're gathered. What is your culture and how are you making architecture that serves you? Okay, so I will not show you all, I will just show you maybe 3 more. You have gotten a taste of what we do here.
Already, yeah.
Bring in the kids, I tell them these stories, they can take sketches, they can come in batches. Like you said, they can do their assignments, go back to school, create exhibit, a lot of stuff. We're lucky that when we got this building, it came with a courtyard. So I have to trim these trees, but we have exhibitions and some things out here. But the designs are around the courtyard. So this is my story. You've already heard a lot of it. This design came in 2017. Like I said, we've done 4 competitions. This one came in from Aisha Nmadili. You can tell it's northern Nigeria. She combined Sudan and Egypt. This was a 5-bedroom house. This came in from a Haitian architect in Haiti. They are prone to earthquakes, so they know to build with bamboo. Because if you build with cement in Haiti, your house is going to break immediately. The earth starts shaking. But bamboo can sway. There's flexibility. So she designed a resort using bamboo. These 2 architects from the Ukraine, because they were designing for a place that's next to the Sahara Desert, when there are sandstorms, the sand enters. So most times around that area, they don't build with windows. But because they're building with mud, and it depends on the location, type of mud, and the climate, you see there's no windows and there's no openings, yet they're inside here and they're cool. So there are a lot of factors, location by location changes. So they did this design. I was like, what is this now? But it's a house, they call it Desert Wave. So this wave is just a facade of the building. They do have windows, they're in the back. They have their courtyard and all the rooms are inside. But this is just so that when the storms,
Sounds as windbreakers.
Sandbreakers.
Yeah, sandbreaker. I see from the pattern.
Yes. The Nigerian did this, call it architecture. The windows are inspired by the eyes of the terracotta statues. I like his design because he used all the materials. There's stone, natural stone material, there's clay brick. He does have cement, he has bamboo, his patterns. It's very artsy, so I'm that cute 3-bedroom.
Ochile Ame seems to be from Benue State. The name Ame, Benue or Kogi State.
Okay.
Yeah, Ame goes for Kogi or Benue. So I guess he might be from any of those 2 states.
Okay. Now I know.
Yes.
This one came from a civil engineer from Russia. She really went far and above and beyond. She took these 4 masks and she just manipulated them into an architectural masterpiece. There's a lot going on here, but I would like to use this building as an art museum, a gallery, cultural center. It's very expressive. There's a lot of narratives that went into the work, the meanings, fertility, wisdom, all the things that our masks, we didn't make masks just to be hanging them. When you wear the mask, you become possessed by whatever spirit you're dancing in the village square, as we all know, right? These masks were functional pieces that were attached to our spiritual systems. So she took all the positive meanings behind them and also embedded them into our building. This came from 3 Igbo architects. Shopping plaza, community center, it's a massive building, it could be a house. The totem poles, unfortunately during the colonial era, when they were calling all of our systems demonic and burning them and all that, or carrying them to
their land,
to their country,
to their museums.
It's demonic and
And
banned
making
here,
monies
but
from it.
it become useful in their own country.
Exactly. Right. So a lot of these things are gone, but they found the images and the stories behind the traditional buildings, palaces, in buried shrines, and they took the meanings and the aesthetics and the materials. It's a powerful building. And I can see, like I said, you can see shopping mall, you can see cafes and people walking around here.
It's interesting.
Closest to what we know as traditional, it just has the rooms around the courtyard. It uses bricks. Very simple design. To me, very affordable. It's very cute. I can embellish it. I can change these pillars, make them a little bit more intricate. I can change out the pattern, like I said, what is the Idoma pattern, or color as red and black. What's the Yoruba one? I can raise out of blues. I can be changing the patterns, changing the pillars to be giving it different dresses. But the idea is, it's a very simple home. Talk about materials a little bit. These are different types of. This is dried in the air. This is air dried, sun dried. You have to mix some small raffia in it for it to hold. This one you bake it in the kiln. The guy in Kuje who we got this from was selling them 30 naira for one dog. And the young guy, he supplies many people in Kuje. Many people use his blocks. Come this way and walk back.
Okay, ma'am, while we take a walk,
Yes.
I wanted to ask 2 questions. First, does Cpdi run as a profit-making NGO or non-profit per se?
We have 2 arms. One is for profit and one's an NGO.
Okay.
So it all depends on what's needed.
Okay.
Then we present in that form.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
These 6 last things are, I said, we teach. I have classes, workshops. As a matter of fact, this December, I have to give you all the flyer. If you want to send a teacher or 2, we train teachers how to teach Afrocentricity. And this is one of the struggles people were having, is that I don't know any of this stuff. I don't have time to go and research it. Okay, I can teach you so that you can teach your students. Or students come to us to learn. So we have workshops and classes, we do excursions, get in a bus, we go around town, and we go and visit the live buildings that have been built. So these ones have not, but my students who have gone on to build for themselves, beautiful. Yesterday we went to one site, it was unbelievable. Simply. So December 4th, 5th, and 6th, we have an expo. First day is lectures, second day is understanding these materials. Third day, enter bus and go around to 4 different sites in town that are Afrocentric, that are as beautiful as what you see here. That if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know. So it's excursion. So we do that. We do our exhibition.
Okay.
We research materials. We sell books on Afrocentricity, and we partner. So however we need to partner with you, if it's teaching, if it's building something, whatever it is that you need, that's what we do. These are our 6 services. You are free to come.
All right, ma'am. My second question is centered on this.
Yes.
Being domiciled here at African University for Science and Technology, do they offer the Afrocentric architecture and engineering here? And do you lecture the students?
Okay, so we've been here 2 years.
Okay.
Waiting for them to get approval from NUSC.
Okay. NUC, Nigerian Universities Commission.
And they finally got it. Just
Oh.
last month.
Wow. Good to hear that. Congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you. So the president of the school, Dr. Nmadili, is making magic. He's just really, he's a genius. So he has really tried. So by next year, the faculty should start. And like I said, 30% of the curriculum is supposed to be Afrocentric.
Afrocentric.
That's where we now teaching those classes, training up the students in Afrocentricity. African University of Science and Technology is a Mandela Institute. Before Mandela passed, he made
Yes, I know that was the first name or something.
Yes, so it's still African University of Science and Technology in Mandela Institute. There are three: there's Burkina Faso, Nigeria, and South Africa. Nigeria was supposed to be this case.
Being the giant of Africa.
The first time I came here, like 2 years ago, I used to live in Sun City. So I had a friend that was the vice chancellor, president. Came in from the US.
Okay.
And I had another one, a friend that was working closely with him, so I just used to visit him.
Okay.
So those days I used to ask, I said, this is a university that you have very scanty number of students. At the time I saw mostly students from other African countries.
That's right. So his idea was to let there be centers of excellence in Africa, where Africa's brightest minds would all go
Converge.
and they would solve African problems with African solutions, as opposed to going to Oxford, Harvard, and then this. So when you came, that was the case. All students were postgraduate students all over Africa, Egypt, South Africa, Cameroon, Nigeria, and World Bank was funding it.
Yes, I heard that.
It was very well done. Things changed. So now it's a private university, undergraduate school, under World Bank as well. It's a private university.
You had to source for your funds.
Around the system.
Yeah. But he's trying. The school is growing. We start architecture. Again, this new part of the curriculum and solution to African problems. That's why we are here at the university.
Yeah, I get it.
I've gone around to many schools in Nigeria and they were not really
Like welcoming to it.
Yeah. They found it interesting. I will have symposia, have different things. But to kind of incubate like this, they weren't really ready.
It's just like embracing new things is always a challenge most times.
This school has.
But what I would like to ask, we are a very unique growth mindset institution. With what we have seen, these are like the senior management team of the university. And our director, particularly, is interested in the stream. When he was a parent, I pointed out that you have stayed here forever and not knowing anything about it. We have a model that we are setting pace, which I know eventually. So I would love to, bring in something that is thought-provoking like what you have here, and then see how we can expose our learners to this cultural mindset and all that. So in terms of collaboration, how do you think we can collaborate with you, in the department and maybe the university, to see how we can start preparing the young minds to be able to get there? Because if some of us have gotten some of these ideas, maybe nursery, primary, maybe some of us who have gone into architecture and all that.
I'll be serious advocates,
so
just like you.
Looking at how we can catch them young.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I think the lowest hanging fruit is definitely the excursions. Is letting them come and be exposed to this kind of work, this kind of pedagogy. Excursions for one. Another thing would be I could actually come to campus once every so often, maybe address a class or address the school and the secondary students. So coming in as help, doing like a guest lecture with a teacher in her class or his class, bringing something to the students as opposed to them having to come here. Projects, any annual projects that the students of the school might like to work on, what that could look like, we'll plan it, we'll arrange it, or fit into an existing cultural event that you have. Like you said, bringing the architectural component, you're already doing the fashion, the food, the language, the dance, and all. Next level would actually be creating a curriculum. If you were able to introduce a class on African-centered design or African design, writing a small curriculum for that course, that's possible if you could do that. So those are some of my ideas. Yeah.
As we're talking, because sometimes this is a kind of it's an exclusive field of study. certain age bracket, and then we can now go and then we want to launch a club, on African culture, cultural architecture, whatever and then also send information to the parents.
Okay.
We can use that club as a platform to mobilize, and then maybe once in a session or once in a team, we can have an exhibition where those young minds will encourage them to start coming in with their building,
projects.
Sure. So I think with that, Miss.
That sounds good.
I hope you are just.
Yes, I'm just looking, I'm reading something.
So those are just some of the thoughts, that going through my mind.
That sounds good. I love the club idea. Because I've even been trying to do a club for university students. So for high school students, that would be great.
They'll be catching them young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because when we leave here, we have to go make a recommendation to the board of the school. But at least I wanted to know that it's something that you will be disposed to.
Yes. I'm getting a lot of coppers that will be starting early next year, and they'll be working with us to come up with activities for people that come here on their excursion. So at different grade levels, that will be a good project to go in and begin to work on. How many students do you have at your
It's
188 to 190 for now. Around 188 to 190.
This is a growing school, so we should support by January.
Guys, next, we still get more enrollment.
Okay. So bringing them here on excursion is just like class by class. You see how
It can be done in batches.
Yeah.
Can be done in batches. We've proceeded on several excursions before. There are some we do, batches.
Okay.
So we just send them there either by grade level, or we can go all together, but we take them in batches while they take turns to tour the facility.
Right.
Yes.
Right. We've done that. Sometimes when a lot of people come, they have to wait out, and 30 will come, go out,
And go.
30 will come.
Yes.
As a appointment, something like that. But yeah, so definitely. So I'll get you one of our flyers that talks about what we do here. I'll also get you the flyer for the expo coming up in December if you want to send at least
Representative.
yeah, that will attend on behalf and get even more information. At least let somebody on the faculty be an expert in this and know how to.
It's Sunday.
Know how to.
Yes. Because when Dr. Young suggested incorporating it, when you talked about bringing it into the curriculum, I was thinking about design and tech, because they do it at lower secondary, year 7 to 9. Then we have technical drawing, year 10 to 12. And the teacher who teaches it is the name she just mentioned, Mr. Sunday Aguloye. He's an architect, and so he will love this exposition, really, to incorporate into what he's already doing. But he's doing so well already as we speak in those two subject areas. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please.
So as we go, we'll send you a formal letter.
Okay, it's income materials. You cannot keep using it as our forefathers used. So time has passed. Nigerian Building Roads Research Institute, they produce these. These are clay blocks. They're interlocking, so you don't need mortar. They're also using bamboo to make floor tiles. I'm just showing you some samples of bamboo. This is a local mat. This architect uses it in his windows.
You can say.
So you can do it more improved and use it as your shortcuts for your windows. Instead of leaving it in the exact way that we know it from.
Just like window blinds.
Exactly.
Yeah, inspiration. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of African innovation has been culturally appropriated. Timber, people in Edo are known for the best laterite and timber, but the question is, what are we doing with our timber? Are we replacing the trees? Are we treating the timber to do good work in architecture, in furniture, and all that? For an example, this mud blocks from the Maswango. The Maswango is Nigeria's foremost Nigerian-centric or Afrocentric architect. He turns 90 next month. But his 6 buildings in Nigeria are masterpieces. He has 2 in Ibadan, 2 in Edo, 2 in Delta. Everybody in the world, as you're landing Nigeria, you're going to see it. Those are the only buildings that people can see. They are unbelievable. I can't describe them. You have to go and experience the Maswango buildings. amazing, amazing genius. But he made these blocks. He has different forms of them, but he made this in this form because artisans were complaining that they didn't know how to use other sizes. This thing is so heavy you can't carry it. But again, all his buildings he uses no AC in any of his buildings. They're bulletproof and all. You can't pick it up. It's heavy. So that's a block. And then the last material.
Solid.
Yes. About 5% of cement.
5% of cement. Madam, you spend so much money buying bags.
A full bag of 50 kg.
Just leave even if it's 1% question.
Yes.
My house in the village, it's built like a modern house. But I know it's built using wood. When we're inside, it's hot. Now, when my dad was alive, we spoke to him about it, and he said that what they used didn't have walls, so it was compact. So they would put
How much cement they put in it. The color does help with airflow. But there's another thing that's also important is the amount of openings that you have. So what Dimas does, he has slits with openings at the ceiling height and at the floor level.
we have that on the door. Just slightly above the door, we have those openings to help.
Okay, so scientifically, what will happen is if they go down and up, air will come, push heat to go out. Air will come, heat to go out.
So us having just one wasn't allowing that.
Yes. So the amount of cement that might have been, did they plaster it with cement and did you have those openings so that air can flow? So there is some science to it, how that has to be covered to achieve the best.
And those walls could be covered with net to avoid
Yes, that's mostly there.
Or any meshed material.
Yeah.
Could be metal or net.
So what's the story behind that is just having all that information, the architects being aware of it so that they incorporate every element that they can. It's more than just the aesthetics, it's more than just the materials. A lot of it is the community engagement. Most information is embedded in the knowledge of the local master builders. That because we're no longer talking to them, we miss it. And that information is key to what you take otherwise. It's like making the egusi soup and you're missing the egusi. You're missing something because you're now modern. You didn't talk to the person who created the egusi soup. So you're looking at a new one and you left out the so that's the local science and technology that knowledge must be.
Another thing with our house is my dad took on louvers. We used shutters. All the shutters have wooden, like stock doors.
So that's good.
Asbestos. We refuse to you should choose asbestos, but the asbestos of my house is different from the asbestos I see. When rain falls, it affects the house similar to the water from the asbestos. But other houses with asbestos, I don't see how much debris. Can you explain that?
Manufacturer. You've not seen it others. So the person that you got from is a bad patch. Do something wrong. Why? Asbestos is now outlawed around the world because of the lead. The paint, the ceiling materials. But yes, the water is collected from rain, goes to the top of the
We no
well.
longer, because when we saw the debris, we just said, no, we don't use the water.
Yeah. If you're not seeing it in other houses, then it's that particular probably manufacturer. One of the houses we built, we have it over here. We ordered bricks from a supplier with bricks. The first batch he brought was perfect. You maybe pay 100% of front. The second batch, as you put the bricks, we fought and because we had to not finish the house. So there's only so much brick in it. So suppliers, it's so okay. So it's like this dash, right? And where I'm going to now is our universities are supposed to be these institutions of higher learning
Practicalizing
I'm going to wait for Europeans to and then sell it down to us.
at a very high cost.
Something that we could have done, that we could have perfected. Those are mothers like China did. It take time to perfect your own. It's a process, it's a long process.
Thank you.
We understand.
Ethiopian students, their traditional. So like I said, a hut is not a house, a hut is a bedroom. It's several of them around the courtyard that makes a family compound. And the family in Africa is not mom, dad, and 2 kids. It's possibly dad, many wives, because polygamy was normal, still is. Many children, grandparents are even part of the extended family. Everyone is in the compound. So this is their traditional hut made out of raffia. So when they now sent in this, I thought, I don't think this thing is modern enough, but I kept it. And I'm happy I did because this design has gotten us awards. Or people come and touch it, they're like, oh my God, I want it. The artists love it. But it's a 2-bedroom duplex. You can either use it by doing your bamboo or your steel structure and wrapping it with a modern version of raffia, or you can use clay brick to make it. This building, I can see it as a chalet in a hotel resort, standing around. I can also see it as a buka restaurant. Chairs and tables out, music, eating amala, whatever traditional food.
That's right.
Beautiful. Yeah. Again, I had so many designs coming from Ethiopia because they were using Cpdi as their test that, like I said, you cannot get approval in their country unless you show that you can.
Integrated
All the 5 elements.
Yes. Well, the 5 elements are Cpdi elements, but as long as you are able to reference heritage and materials, then
You can get approval.
yeah.
Okay.
Technology for this is called Round Earth technology. So it's a modern take on our traditional way you use your hand to build it. So to get this wall, you take your wooden panels, you rub them, and you mix your board. You add 3% cement, 2% other adhesives, additives. You mix you pour it round, you're compacting, which is why you're getting these striations. You pour. When you get to the height you want, let it set for some hours. Then you pull off the panels, and you have the model. This is the reigning sustainable green architecture practice in the world today. And it actually is an African technique that was done in Northern Africa. It moved to Spain when the Moroccans, the Moors, conquered Spain in 700 AD. Before the Spanish now kicked them out in 1400. Kicked them out, they now went to America, conquered America, which is why you see this in all the Spanish areas in America when the Spanish conquered. But it was a technique that they actually got from Africans, a new technique that some Africans were doing in the 700s. So anyway, what's perfect about our house is, number one, is mud. If you harvested this from your site, that means that the materials are free. It's mud. Heat is not going to enter. You don't need AC. This house is so. I wanted this guy 3 contracts in Abuja to design hotels. People love this. They say he's so modern, yet it is completely African and modern. Yeah. He has his courtyard. He has his kitchen there. You can grill your suya, grill all your stuff. That's the courtyard kitchen. He still has a modern kitchen, and his bedrooms, his parlor, and all that. Very loved. There is a version of this house in Maitama, a 2-story. Some wealthy Nigerian hired some Lebanese. They came and designed and put it on him. It is beautiful. So again, learning from our ancestors and building upon that science, technology, and information. These are examples of round earth. So one of our partners has a site in Orozo, and she's built a 2-story round earth building with her students. So we're trying to get up and running in Nigeria. They have to go to Ghana to learn, because Ghana is a little bit ahead of us in these kinds of conversations. So you have to be able to think from an African perspective to design it beautifully, but your artisans have to also be trained enough to build it exactly as it looks. It cannot look anything less than this. The client is not feeling it. Yeah. So training the architects, training the artisans, sensitizing the clients. As you know, cowrie shell is what we used for money back in the day. Ileoro, I think, means house of wealth, if I'm right. So the wealth attached to the symbol, to the cowrie, he used it as his hotel. So these are the suites, and then downstairs is where the restaurant and the museum is. This is his master plan. The water features, the Yoruba knot. The Yoruba knot is different from the Arewa house. Yeah. So that was just his pattern, and then he had many sit-outs, amphitheater, the tree where the children can go and sit down, the grill can tell stories, museums, restaurants. But his hotel had the rare patterns were what he was going to use to give it the aesthetic, but the shape was based on the cowrie shell.
And this place exists.
I know.
Because we would like to visit forever away. Yes. It's so attractive. I can imagine being in this environment.
Physically.
The serenity and everything. Then the inclusion of trees, I say palm trees, so it will be highly natural to dwell. Yeah.
That's what we're saying. That if people were to come to Nigeria, you can imagine if this was a Hilton, the Sheraton. Our buildings should reflect us. We shouldn't be doing their own. Otherwise, why come to the Hilton? It looks like the same one you saw in New York. See one that is inspired. If I go to Igala land, I should be seeing Igala. You know what I mean? So
Unique features that represent various cultures and that should serve as a tourist attraction.
Tourism. And now with this Dirty December coming up, Nigeria appears to be ready to celebrate. So I said, okay, fine. So as they're coming, as they're eating their grilled fish and point and kill and all that stuff, them also be sitting down in environments that the president of the American Institute of Architects, I lived there for some years, of course, before coming back home. So she came last year to visit, and she was struggling. She didn't take any photographs of buildings. This is president of the Architectural Association. She was snapping the food, snapping the fashion that people were wearing, but not the buildings. I said, Kim, why are you not? She said, there's nothing, I don't see anything that says I'm
In Africa.
I'm in Africa. And half the buildings are not maintained. The paint is falling off. What's happening? I said, I speak in English. I said, I speak in English. So then I brought her here. She said, okay, this is what I thought I was going to see when I came to Nigeria. I say, Kimberly, we are coming. Just give us time. This one is inspired by, what do you all think? Which culture?
It should be the Edo culture. Edo Benin.
That's exactly right. He won first place in 2021, the India Cultural Impact Center, for conferences, for so many things, schools. You can use this building for anything. The beads can become clay bricks or wooden blocks. Again, green materials. 40% of global warming, from what we understand, is caused by the built environment profession. The glass, the steel, the coal tar on the roads, all those unnatural materials that we're using, they are warming up the planet. But if you're using green materials, less carbon footprint, less global warming.
True.
Why don't you have calendars showing some of this? That's why I'm these places actually exist.
These guys are so good at their designs and their renderings that most people think that our buildings have been built. They have not. This building, however, is so much loved. He has raised about 30%. It's going to be built in Chicago. He's based in America, Nigeria.
So this is a prototype or like an architectural model rendering. Okay, I get
So
it.
he's raising the money. People love it so much that they're bringing money for him.
So when he builds it into reality, to be a standpoint.
In America. So it is in America and Europe that people are embracing this conversation more. The blacks there, because they are
There's something
They're hungry.
They're hungry to connect to their
disconnected
roots.
for many years. So
Mm.
things like this give them that sense of.
there are 3 Africa towns that are being built in America. Here, we take it for granted, oh, I'm from here, I'm from there. Those ones there, they're like, oh, 100 years ago, they snatched with me. So they are the ones championing this. And, you know, part of my story, my mother is African American, my dad is Burkina. So I'm combining both of my African heritage and trying to bridge the gap, have a conversation between both sides of the Atlantic. So the last one I'll show you today, and then you all will be thoroughly immersed in Afrocentricity.
We are already.
This one was done by 2 architects from Lagos. They call it the Eton Complex, inspired by the Calabash. Dismantled and rearranged as their skyscraper.
Wow, such creativity.
Yeah. You can see it standing next to your standard glass, steel, and cement. You see the one that makes a statement. You can imagine people coming for tourism and they want to stand here and take their pictures, not in front of this one. It's in front of this building. So we are saying that you should be driving around Abuja, any state house that's doing something, they should build it in their culture's image. This particular one is apartments, shops, green roof, of course, for entertainment, penthouse. Let's get them built as you all have your land, whether it's your house, whether it is anything you want to build. That's what we are here for. If somebody wanted these floor plans, the architectural drawings for this now, they can buy them. Keep it. Whenever you're ready to build.
Start to develop.
Yeah. Or when you're ready, you call us. You say, I'm from Lobo Land. Give us a Lobo design, we'll give you. Right? So that's what we are here. We want to get some samples built in Abuja. So it's more than just talk. Yeah.
Of course. Calls for action.
Yes. Thank you.
Wow.